Hello ponies and welcome to Whirlybird 2 Electric Boogaloo Part 2. Last night I was a bit too tired to continue with this and I set the helicopter down, I guess roughly in this area, if I remember right. Let's take a quick look while we're at it. Well, it's not the same paint job, but it's pretty much close to where I left it last time. I remember there was a school, but... Oh, we're gonna continue our operation and fly to Kobuleti. That's our final destination. We started last night in Tbilisi, so I'm gonna show you on the map how far we flew. So Tbilisi, well, Vaziani is here. So we flew northwest to Mukrani and to Oscar Echo and finally to Alpha Lima, to this NDB here. And we're going to continue about 80 miles to here, and we're going to be using the NDB at Kobuleti to navigate. The closest one we have here is Alpha Lima that I used last time. But yeah, this is pretty much it. So we're going to do a startup in the Huey, and we are going to try to get our destination. So again, let's go through the startup sequence. It's not very difficult. So we set this to AC phase, then we set this to essential bus. This is basically the electrical buses. We're gonna set the main generator to on, battery to on. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, so it's starting to scream at us, literally. And hello viewers, how are you doing? I'm gonna... Okay, I killed the alert system. Then let's put on the fuel, force trim and hydraulics. Everything seems to be in order, and I'm gonna lower my collective and throttle all the way to 0, and I'll remove the pilot for convenience sake. Fuel is on, so let's start up the helicopter. I'm pressing the stir button and I'm opening the throttle a little bit.
Good day, this is Belize International Information India, recorded at 0800 UTC. Runway, tree 1, wind 27.
I apologize for that. That was just the ATIS radio. And we have good startup. Helicopter is shaking a little bit. Let's put the landing light on. Let's set our altimeter to the right setting, which is 2992. So basically this is to allow it to show us the correct altitude. Let's zoom out again. Inverter on. Okay, let's set up the radio navigation system. I'm not explaining that much now, but IFF is on. Let's put on the icing system. And let's tune the ADF radio quickly. To 490. Let's... Yep, this should be it. Let's arm the countermeasure system, UHF radio. We're gonna turn on the NAVCOM radio as well. Okay, let's zoom out. I'm not going to use the external lights because there are still some issues with the external lighting system. So I don't want to have to deal with those because they can always reflect to the inside. So let's see, there we go. Okay, clear left, clear right. There's nobody here anyway, but always pays to be careful. And let's take her off. So the terrain is a bit basically bending. Well, it's an incline towards our tail. So I'm gonna reset the trim, and I'm gonna set prepare for takeoff, and I'm gonna start pulling on the collective. Collective is, as I explained before, what increases the pitch of the rotor blades, and we're going up. We're gonna have to fly, well, roughly to the west, but I need to synchronize the HSI. It points to a heading of about 200. So let's synchronize this. Now that we set that to ADF, it's showing us the correct direction, I hope, to the NDB, which is to the west. As I said, I put the antenna to NDB. When you put it, so the way it works, you put it on ADF and, so when you put it to ANT, you tune the antenna. When you put back to ADB, it will just reflect this on this horizontal situational indicator. So now let's prepare to take off. I'm gonna set this, and I'm gonna start pulling up the collective very slowly. There's no rush. And yeah, I always forget this. The radar altimeter, my mistake. We need to know how high we are from the ground. There we go. I always forget the radar altimeter. It's gonna get a bit light on the skids soon. Okay, I need to left pedal and no, okay, I need to stop it from drifting to the right. Okay, terrain is a bit inclined as well, so okay, let's try to actually gain some altitude. Again, I'm not a very good pilot, but I try at least. You can see the cyclic stick moving right there. And I'm slowly turning to the desired heading. I'm just hovering now here. I'm gonna pull up on the collective, and I'm gonna try to stabilize this. And let's go between these two hills here. Should be just fine. If you don't know what the UH-1 is, well, the UH-1 is the Bell UH-1 Iroquois, also known as the Huey, a helicopter that fought in the Vietnam War, and many variants of it still exist today, like the Super Huey and a few others as well. I don't remember all of them. The civilian Bell 412 is also a variant of the Huey. Okay, let's try to go. I'm also trying to show you the scenery, actually. I know many people prefer playing on the DCS Persian Gulf map, but I prefer going for Caucasus. I like the mountains, so that's one of the reasons why I enjoy the map. But again, we fly where we like, right? We have about 80 miles to go, so I think we might as well accelerate a little bit. We're doing about 60 knots, basically 60 nautical miles per hour. Trying to use the collective to keep her relatively steady on the altitude, because we're losing altitude at the moment. If the nose pushes down, the helicopter behaves a lot like an airplane. If you're moving in a level flight, it starts going down. It's as easy as that. And we're doing about 100 knots, which is, I think, the optimal cruising speed for a Huey. To be honest, I have never read the official manuals for a Huey. I usually, the simulator itself provides good manuals, but I prefer reading the official aircraft manuals themselves. And we're doing fairly well. Let's slow down a bit. Need to go up. I don't really want to kiss the mountains because, well, I'll be dead in that case. And I really love the forest. I just like flying over the forest. Look how green this is. It's just awesome. I mean, obviously it's an evergreen forest and it's winter, but yeah, we're going pretty fast, but I think the Huey can take 120 knots. I'm not sure exactly what the correct speed is for it, but as far as if I remember right, it was about 90 knots. I just need to relax my cyclic carb a little bit. Collective's fine. It's just sometimes I get a bit too. I get a bit too much into it, and I'm a bit forceful, and my arm gets tired if I use the. I know you're supposed to be gentle. Well, let's see. Are we even going the right way? No, we're not. We might be a little bit too far. So let's turn a bit to the west. Towards the water. Even though I think I tuned it right to 490 kilohertz, but gonna let go of the controls. Okay. I'll reset the trim. And let's see if I can restabilize this. This has no autopilot compared to the other helicopters in DCS. that they all have autopilot or stabilization systems. The KA-50 actually has the best one. But the KA-50 itself is more like a flying computer than a helicopter, so... It's also a coaxial, it doesn't fly like the Huey. Okay, so are there any NDVs this way? Probably not. No NDVs this way. I should have paid a bit more attention to this. The main idea is going west. I see my NDB is a bit confused, but copulity is dead ahead. I mean, I know the area, so... Or is it? Here in the mountains, it's a bit hard to tell, but... I should be in the right spot. Actually, Cobulary is a bit to the southwest of here. Just gonna let go of the controls and pull up a bit. And by pulling up, I mean just go up a bit. And if you're wondering what system I'm using a Thrustmaster Warthog. I don't know how good it is for helicopters. It does pretty okay for me, at least with a Huey. So I just keep wondering why is the NDB needle pointing to the northwest rather than southwest. Of course, if this was a jet fighter, we would be there in a jiffy, but... Again, I started this videos with a Whirlybird 2 electric Boogaloo because of finding the flight school that I was interested in, and they have both helicopter and fixed wing courses, and I'm not sure what I want. Because I like both. I like helicopters quite a bit. If we're going to go VFR here, we need to find the river and try to follow that to the coast. And from there we can get the Cobulity. This is gonna be a quite boring stream, but of course, feel free to chat with me. That's why I do this stuff. The radar altimeter keeps going on and off because of the elevation compared to the ground I'm at. So I think at about 2,000 feet above ground it stops working, but when you get below 1,500, it starts showing numbers again. So see, 1420, 1410. I'm maintaining roughly 4,000 feet above sea level because of my altitude. So we started about, I guess, 1,500 feet in altitude, the airfield, but okay, now the area is becoming a bit more familiar. I usually don't fly around Tbilisi, so but we should be at Kobileti within the hour. I'm simply going for full manual flight. No trimmer, no nothing, just learning how to control the helicopter myself. So. And there's Gus. Hi, Gus. Gus is my co-pilot. That there's a river and a road. It's gonna take us a while. My stick is set to the side because sometimes I fly the F-16 and I actually find the side stick setup a lot better, but and I'm gonna turn here about 260 and keep flying the heading. Actually, you'll believe it or not, flying a helicopter in a regular level flight is the easiest part. Low speed operations, I believe, are the hardest, and some other things, but flying level is probably the easiest bit, in my humble opinion. Let's keep flying this heading. We should reach the coast in. So how'd your day, guys, go? How did they go, guys? My English is clearly dying, and if you hear weird noises, it's usually the stuff from outside, like cars and motorcycles. I've actually opened the window to get some fresh air in the room, so. Yeah, our fuel's good, temperatures are good, pressures are good. Yeah, we're doing just fine. Oops, went a bit too fast there. Let's pull that stick a bit. And we're constantly flying. We're going a bit up. Let's level the helicopter off a bit. I'm watching the VSI, so the VSI is just below the altimeter next to the horizontal situational indicator. To the right of the horizontal situational indicator as you're looking at the dashboard. And on the map we are somewhere here. Our destination is, well, here. Now, so that's still a bit of a way to go. I'm happy if you tune in and talk to me because that's why I'm doing this. Actually, in kilometers per hour, we're doing about 180 kilometers an hour ish. Not too fast. I mean, I don't know, again, just trying to maintain 100 knots cruising speed. Just feels right if I go for 100 knots. Gus isn't saying much, so. I must say the Huey has pretty good visibility, since you have this really large cab and... Again, hands off the collective. Here's my collective hand. I'm not using it. I'm just simply flying it with the cyclic. Could have just taken my hands off completely, but I like flying it. Now, I don't know much about, let's say, on the technical details about the Huey, but Wikipedia has actually a lot of information about it. If you want to know more about the helicopter itself, I think it came out in the late 50s, but well, it saw action in the mid to late 60s and in the Vietnam War. Sorry, not 70s. Again, I realize this is quite boring, but well, sorry, I can't really have Gus fly the helicopter, but I prefer flying it myself. Let's check. I actually still have my coordinates saved on the phone. Need to keep an eye on what I'm doing, but yeah, it was at 490, but I think my ADF is a bit acting up and showing me that it's a completely different heading. We're gonna basically Copulati, if you see those hills in the distance, it's just by those. But those are close to the coast. And if you're asking me why this thing doesn't go any faster, it just doesn't. It's a Huey, it's a 1960s helicopter, so. But we'll be there soon. Seems a bit of it gets a bit quite vibraty at a bit over 100 knots, so. Gonna try to keep it at this flight envelope. See, if I let go, what does the trim do? Well, it doesn't really do anything. Just gonna pull up a bit the collective and adjust it. Wants to fly a bit to the right. Let's see if it wants to fly now like this. Now it wants to fly to the left. Okay. Trimming is something I haven't really mastered yet in the Huey, but I'm trying to. It's not the same as an aircraft trim. Trim is basically, more or less it means setting a helicopter or an aircraft at a setting where you can literally fly hands off. Without a need even for an autopilot. Well, now it's going more or less the way I want it to, so I'm just going to leave it like this. Just going to try to keep the altitude. That's the main point. And hey viewer, how's it going? Nice to see you even if you're not saying anything. Well, as I was babbling along here, we're simply just flying to Copuleti from a point in the ground where I had landed last night because I was so tired I couldn't fly the helicopter anymore during part 1 of Whirlybirds 2 Electric Boogaloo. This is DCS, by the way, Digital Combat Simulator, flying the UH-1H Huey by Belgium Tech. The remarkable Huey that served in the Vietnam War. And we're approaching the coast. We'll be there eventually. I'm just trying to fly a bit manually here again. So, how's it going, viewer? How's your Wednesday going? I was about to say Tuesday. What's wrong with me? Well, because on Monday I didn't really go to work. I had something to do, so I had to take one full day off. But everything's well when it ends well, right? It's a bit of, well, wind here, but not that much. I'm going a bit fast also. Let's see, we're getting there. It's still a bit about, I think maybe 50 miles to the destination, maybe less. We had about 80 miles when we started, so. So how's it going? It's okay, I understand if you're shy. I don't really bite, but I'm just simply being social. I just talk a lot. Now let's find a proper spot for this cycling so we fly level at least. There we go. And where we are on the map now? Well, we're a bit to the north. We're a bit out of sight. We're quite north of Kutaisi, so we could turn south. As I said, I don't really have a printed map of this, nor am I using any navigational means like a stopwatch and actual navigation. and the ADF is not really pointing me in the right direction. So this isn't exactly helping much. And the ADF is basically a navigational radio called an automatic direction finder, which helps you get places where you have actually a station. Yeah, my good old mouse decided to pull off a disappearing act here. Yeah, that's the closest I think I can get to 490 kilohertz. Of course, if Gus was actually doing anything, that's Gus, by the way, that guy there. If he was doing anything to fly the bird, then I could easily set the nav radios, but since he's lazy, he's just literally just looking around. Hey, Gus. Again, trying to go hands off. The helicopter's going to accelerate because I don't want to go 120 knots. It's a bit too fast for a Huey, so. Well, again, she keeps wanting to go to the right, but I guess I'll have to do this the manual way. Let's fly lower a bit. Now I pretty much know where I am, so. Oh, I had forgotten the landing light on. Shave on me, eh? And foolish me for listening to the ADF, because it's, for example, not showing me the right direction. And let's pull this a bit backwards. Again, my lovely mouse decided to pull a disappearing act here, so. Just gonna set my heading bug a little bit, and heading basically to kind of set which way I want to go. Okay, now you're steady. Still in. Oh, hey! Thank you, Cianetti, for hosting me. And we can already see... Oh, yes, that I have. And if anybody else doesn't know what we're talking about, well, we're talking about Shadowrun. Yes, I play Shadowrun. Hoo-hoo, guilty as charged. Also, thank you for tuning in. I mean, I'm happy at least somebody's watching. Otherwise, I'd just be talking to the ghosts in the shell, or I don't know, the sprites on the Matrix, right? Yeah, you get used to talking to yourself, indeed. Well, do you hear the voices too, as they always say? Well, yeah, that's very true. Yeah, lucky me, I know my way around here, eh? I think we need to turn a bit towards the south. Well, I don't need the road signs. I actually know the area, so it's just more or less following the terrain features. This is just pure and simple VFR navigation, visual flight rules. If you don't know what that means, so okay. Well, I still explained it anyway. I know you were not being horribly serious, but well, sometimes I take you a bit too seriously. I shouldn't, but or should I? I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess so. If you say so, I didn't say it, guys. So Voodoo is a serious person. Well, I'm sure he is. So how's everybody else doing? Come on, guys, don't be shy. I'm just talking here to Sanity, and you're all quiet. I mean, I hope you're enjoying. This is just simple VFR flying of a helicopter, and me trying to decide if I want to go to get my helicopter license in real life or fixed wing. Also, guys, say hi to Gus. There's Gus. He's my virtual pixelated co-pilot. I decided to call him Gus. I don't know why. He looks like a Gus to me. Yeah, screw Dave. I know, right? You can also have some door gunners in this helicopter, but I decided to leave them home. I think they were drunk or something. And plus, there are no targets on this map. Well, not on this mission at least. Plenty of targets in other missions, but just not now. I decided to. This is just fun flying, I suppose, for funsies. So, what do you guys think? Should I get a helicopter pilot's license or a fixed wing? I actually found a school in my city that teaches both, so private pilot, nothing else. I can just rent a plane, fly with a few buddies around, and you know. No, it's the option of getting a helicopter license or a plane license. Hi, Tepsint, how's it going? Long time no see, buddy. Well, I mean, not that long, but still long time no see. So it's a choice between helicopter and a fixed wing aircraft. I mean, sure, you can go on lots of adventures with a helicopter. Just take off, land anywhere on public land, and go crazy. I actually read a bit of the local laws, but. Alright, enjoy the breakfast. And yes, I'm completely not weirded out. It's breakfast time, at least for Cian it is. I had dinner, or was it breakfast? One of the two, anyway. Oh, I guess you're right. I suppose you're right. Did you sleep the whole day again? Now, okay, this area is a lot more familiar for me because this is my usual stomping ground on this map. The map itself is actually, I think, almost one-to-one scale of the real thing, but I'm not entirely sure. There's another airfield here, but I'm not going to use this one. This is called Senaki, but I'm not going to use it. It's right there off my front right window. We're flying a bit further to the south. Just beyond the hills ahead, that's where our destination is. I was actually going to do that tonight after the stream. Speaking of Shadowrun. And yes, guys, we are Shadowrun players. At least me, Tepsint, and Cianity are. Holy crap, the pork is in the oven. Everybody, duck and cover. Oh, yeah, at least, well, something will be replaced over there, but... Well, we are almost there. So, you have to bear with me a little longer. It does have a radio, but there is no air traffic control. That's the thing. The only one of the drawbacks about the simulator that the ATC is virtually non-existent. I mean, it has it, but it's very primitive. I'll just announce my arrival. Okay. So we're about 199. Let's level off. QFE 2960. So let's set that up. Yeah, even if we're turning, I can just turn again. Whee! The mouse is being a dumbass again. Oh, okay. Then I can resume control. Well, yeah, musical radio. Actually, there is one module in the simulator that actually has a radio where you can actually play songs. Fun, eh? It's just not this one. So, guys, how was your day? Well, I know, Cianity, you slept the whole day. How about you, Tepsint? How's it been going? Oh, look, I mean, at least you rested, right? Are you less tired than you were when you went to sleep? Excellent. Well, that's the key point. You managed it. And we're almost at our destination. We should be able to see the airport soon enough. Almost there. Well, we're gonna have ourselves a nice landing soon. As I said, Gus doesn't really do much. He's just there. Hi, Gus. The airfield itself is just ahead, so I'm gonna start my descent very slowly. Like about 100 feet a minute. Should be fine. And we are almost there. Just need to get my bearings visually a little, at least a little bit. Yeah, it's there. It's there to the right. Yeah, well, I misjudged the distance, okay? Well, yeah, it's a helicopter, it doesn't fly very fast. Actually, it flies a lot less than 400 kilometers an hour. I'm doing about, well, about 100, 200-ish now. And, also, the speed is in knots. Also, they don't really fly that fast. I've been doing about 100 and knots, so that's about 180, something like that. This is a 1960s helicopter. Remember that it's not an attack helicopter. Yeah, the Westland Lynx. That's the fastest helicopter in the world, but this is not a Westland Lynx. This is a Bell UH-1. And there's the airfield. It's just to my forward right. Okay, well, I haven't really googled those up. I'm not flying those, so again, this is not very fast. It's a slow helicopter, but it does its job. It did its job in the Vietnam War. Still does, the newer variants. So let's not be judgmental. It's an older helicopter, so I mean, hey, this guy used to drop soldiers in the Vietnam War. So And there we go. We're getting closer. Do 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 do. I'm also trying to, of course, slow down here, but can't really fly straight in, so. And I will not use the runway for landing. I'm going to be a hooligan and just go to the ramp. And now we're in ground effect, so I'm gonna try to head to the ramp. Hello, how's it going? Hey, welcome to the stream. You got here right at the end, but at least you get to see my maybe not so masterful landing. give it a bit more gas. Well, collective at least. Let's try to stop it. No, I picked it up long ago. I just don't fly it that much. Oh, the KA-50 is actually very good. I would say that KA-50 is pretty good, but the Huey is actually, if you really want to learn how to fly a helicopter, I say you should definitely get a Huey. Now this was about 1 hour flight, almost, yeah, about 1 hour-ish from where I started, but I think if you really want to try a very classic helicopter, the Huey is the real deal. I mean, it really works like a helicopter should, not a coaxial. Yeah, the Gazelle is very strange. I'm just leaning in so I can actually see better what you're saying there. But I would definitely recommend the Huey. Ah, okay, fair enough. Well, the other choice, if you really want to fly a classic helicopter, is the Mi-8. The Mi-8 is amazing. It takes a bit of you getting used to, specifically during landings. But it's pretty awesome. It's a completely different bird. Ah, well then I always say fly what you like. I fly the Huey because I can get on quite well with it. I mean, I can show you the Mi-8 if you're curious. I do have it on the stream. Would you like to see it? And I can show you at least how to start it up. At least the way I do it. Let's just choose the slot and let's pick this Mi-8 here. Why not? I mean, I don't have anything better to do, so. Well, the Age 1 Cobra will be an interesting bird to fly, especially if it has multi-crew, because I would love to have a gunner in the rear seat. Or was it in the front seat? I don't remember which one it was. To be honest, I'm not an expert, that much of an expert in the Cobra. Well, yeah, I'm not sure if it's the flight model, but it's as I said, I've tried it. It's always trying to kill me. So the Gazelle is always trying to kill me. I like the idea between a small, nimble, fast helicopter, but the Gazelle is a murderer. It wants to kill you. So yeah, it's a bit. Well, yeah, they should have worked a bit more on it. I mean, both Belsim Tech models, the Huey and the Mi-8, have actually excellent flight models. The Ka-50, it's an awesome attack helicopter. I do fly it now and then, actually. I did have a previous stream where I flew the Ka-50 and just some weapons demonstrations and so on. I do enjoy flying it. Some people don't like flying coaxial, but I really like flying coaxial. It's very stable. It's a very stable helicopter. And of course, it's quite advanced. I mean, you have actually a GPS system. You can use multiple navigation systems to work your way around the map. So, yeah, data link. It's a pretty good helicopter. It's for a good bang for the buck, as they say. I mean, if you look at this, I'm just gonna go to the outside view. Of course, you probably are familiar with it with the Mi-8, but some people are not. So this is the Mi-8. This is a utility helicopter, but you can also attach weapons to it. The other one on the FAR FARP is just a static. This has 3 crew members, so myself, that's Boris, and that's Ivan. So Boris and Ivan, Boris is the flight engineer, Ivan is the co-pilot and navigator. You can switch around. You can do this also in the Huey. So one is the primary pilot, two is the co-pilot, then you have the engineer. Here you have all these weapons. These are the weapons. Basically, these are not the weapons. These are just the fuses. So you can just put them on like this, and then you can have everything on. I'm not going to put on the weapons because this has no weapons. I'm just going to show you how to start up. So basically, of course, you need electricity for all your systems. I'm just going to use Boris's position here. Then you have a couple of batteries, 1 and 2, right? Then you need to activate the fire detection system, and fuel shut off. Then you have the fuel pumps here, quite easy. Now, like an airliner, this actually helicopter has an APU because it's so big and it has really powerful engine. It actually requires the help of an APU. So you just go to start. This is APU starting. Click it. Here you have the auxiliary power unit indicator. And you wait for this to start up. You can also connect the APU if you want. This is the standby generator. Now we get power from the APU. I usually don't wait that long. Yep, that's very true. That's the advantage of a coaxial helicopter. Yep. Also, one I'm interested in is the Mi-24 Hind. So let's actually start the engines with the left one. Let's set this crank little button to start. Then we click on. We need to wait for the engine to reach about 20%. Yeah, I mean, the Mi-24 is literally, the Hind is a multi-role helicopter, if you ask me. Yeah, it is. And I would actually be very curious to run it with a multi-crew. Yeah, thanks. And let's talk on the weekend, Cianid. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, definitely, the Mi-24 is actually, I will buy the Mi-24, hands down. And here's the big bad Mi-8 starting. I mean, this is a big bird. This is a huge bird. Let's wait for engine number 1 to stabilize. You have the engine indicators here. In case you people are not familiar, of course, I'm happy to talk about the Mi-8 as well. I just like it because it's big. I don't know. I just really like big helicopters. Another one I am interested in, but they have not announced making it yet, is the CH-53 or MH-53. Let's start the right engine. Okay, and let's move the fuel shut-off lever forward. And the second engine is starting. We need to wait for it to stabilize. Oh yeah, I heard the BO-105. That's actually a lot like a Gazelle. It's a small scout helicopter, isn't it? I'm not that familiar with it. I know it's a German helicopter. It was produced by Messerschmitt, if I remember right. Wow, amazing. I mean, I wasn't that aware of the BO 105, but I believe you. I don't think we need a fan on this cold. Nah, no fan. Oh, it does. Interesting. Well, I'm learning new things today. We don't need dust protection, but we need heating. Yeah, I didn't know that about it, but hey, I'm learning new things. That's pretty cool to know. Yeah, you won't be finding me doing that with the MI8. Definitely not. I mean, I haven't even tried aerobatics with the Gazelle, or the Gazelle just tries to kill me every single damn time. So I kind of gave up on it. I like it, but it's just, I guess it's a bit screwed up, the flight model. Let's see if I remember how to take off with this one. I used to fly it quite a bit. And yeah, it's not. It's definitely not made to do that. But it's actually excellent for what it does. I mean, I have a pretty high opinion of the Ka-50. One of my, let's just say, acquaintances from online goes by Bridger. If he's watching, he knows who he is. He's quite fond of the Gazelle. And let's just use his nickname, Bridger, because I don't really want his name to be revealed online. But yeah, he's quite fond of the Gazelle, and he's pretty good at it, also. Me, well, I like it, but yeah, I keep getting killed by the damn little bird. She's a feisty one, that one. A French woman. I mean, helicopter. I have nothing with French women. I like them as much as any other man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Westland Lynx would also be extremely, extremely awesome to see in this game. The Lynx is also a fairly capable helicopter, if you ask me. Well, I could try it, but I'm a bit iffy about going in it. MI8, no problem otherwise. There we go. Oh, there's the big girl. Okay. Well, let's just give it a bit more right pedal, because it's a European helicopter, so she likes right pedal. Oh yeah, it has a RWR, which is actually pretty amazing, if you ask me. I mean, I've seen Gazelle with the, what are those missiles called? Mistral. Yeah, that little bugger was actually hunting for F-15s and SU-27s on a multiplayer server. I don't really fly multiplayer. I'm a solo flyer myself, but yeah, I mean, the Gazelle is one of the few helicopters that I know of with an RWR. Probably there are others out there. Again, I'm not a helicopter expert. You probably know more than me, buddy. I think you and everybody else would be all over the Apache. But yeah, this is the Mi-8. As you can see, it's not very difficult to take off. It's not very difficult to take off with. She's just a bit trickier to land than the Huey. I mean, the Mi-8, of course you're not a fan of it, you said, but it handles more like an airliner rather than an actual helicopter. Okay, well, consider me an ignorant. So, okay, wasn't there also a Zulu version of it? So obviously W is a whiskey version. Ah, that's fine. I mean, if we get the Super Cobra, I'll be happy. I mean, that would be funny, very fun on massive multiplayer missions, where you could have, for example, flights of Hueys escorted by Super Cobras, and that would be awesome. And engaging ground forces, or Cobras providing cover fire while the Hueys drop troops. Hmm. Now I'm in. Consider me interested. I mean, Hellfire are very similar to the KA-50s that the KA-50s, the Vickers that the KA-50 has. Sorry, my English or my brain has died. I'm still tired, but not as bad as I was late last night. Yeah, Vicker. Those are actually very good missiles, if you ask me. Yeah, again, helicopter weaponry is not really my let's say strong point. I know more about aircraft weaponry, obviously, but helicopters not so much. Of course, I'm aware of the Zuni rockets, which are common to the A4, Skyhawk, and the F4, and a lot of other older aircraft that I like. I'm actually quite a big fan of Vietnam era helicopters and planes. I also like the Century series fighters if we're talking about airplanes, like F-105, even the F-104. I actually really like the F-104. I don't. It had a bad reputation, but I don't think it's that well deserved. And helicopters wise, I'm a big fan of the Chinook. I know, cargo helicopter, boring, transport, but I think it's a pretty good thing. I mean, I heard that Chinook gunship is a beast. Yep, F-16C. That's a like day one buy for me. The F16. F4. The F-15E Strike Eagle, I'm not sure if I'm that much into it. I prefer the F-16. It has similar capabilities, of course, not as much ordnance capacity, but I feel the... Yeah, but I don't care about the Strike Eagle. That's the point. Yep. As I said, I prefer clickable cockpits too. I mean, I don't have Flaming Cliffs modules except two: the Su-33 and the MiG-29. MiG-29, well, I just like it, and Su-33, well, I also like it. Otherwise, I would not be bothering with it. Well, the Su-27 is not a bad bird though. Wish it was fully clickable though. Yeah, but due to Russian laws about state security and military secrets, we'll probably never get the MiG-29S and Su-27 or 33. There was actually, a long time ago, there was a very good Su-30 for FSX before I moved to DCS. It was made by some Chinese guys, and I think it was the Chinese version of the Su-30, but I actually liked it. Fully clickable and everything. It was the two-seater version of it. Su-30 MKK, I think, or something like that. I don't remember the exact version names. Well, it's Chinese, that's the thing. Yeah, but the Chinese did do some upgrades to it. I mean, it's not the same old thing. And also, it's made to carry Chinese armament, so... Oh, I see. That sounds interesting. And of course, we'll never see it, but would be cool the MiG-20, the carrier-capable MiG-29. I actually heard some pretty disturbing news recently that the Russians might scrap their aircraft carrier, and they have only one. It's pretty sad, actually. I mean, sure, it had a lot of issues, technical issues, but... Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm not sure how true it is, but I heard that they might be scrapping the Kuznetsov. That's a damn shame, if you ask me. I mean, I'm sure it's not the best ship around, but it's not horrible. Yep, I guess we will be the only ones to have it. If they scrap it in real life. But don't take my word for granted, it's just what I hear that they might scrap the Kuznetsov. Which again is a damn shame. By the way, do you like Warbirds? Let's count the MiG-15 and the F-86 as Warbirds as well. Okay, so what do you like from World War II? I'm quite a big fan of the Mustang, actually. And the Dora. I like the Spitfire. Never tried the 109. I don't know why, it's just... I have 3 Warbirds, I think that's enough. The Mustang is actually quite nice. It was a good plane for its time. I hate the engine management on it though. You need to do a bit way too much to fly it correctly. The Spitfire is very easy. Once you're in the air, it's surprisingly easy. The Dora is also very nice. It's a bit hard to take off and taxi with, but... Well, the Mark 9, I'm not sure how early it was, to be honest. Oop, VRS, I wasn't paying attention. Talking to you and not paying attention to the VRS. Okay, that's fine. We recovered. Yeah. Well, the Spitfire was fairly maneuverable. If you look at it that way. Oh, I've never tried it. Do you think I should give it a go? People say it's a bit harder to fly compared to the Dora, for example. I mean, I've flown the Dora, and the Dora is a kind of a, well, let's say it's a problem to take off, but... Oh, interesting. Well, that's new. I also like fighters with some ground attack capability, so that's why I kind of like the P-51 because of that. Whoop, VRS. Okay, let's recover. Okay, there we go. Not the best recovery. Well, we went down, but yeah, that's the biggest problem of the Mi-8. That is my biggest problem with the Mi-8. It enters VRS very easily. I mean, I do have a few other helicopters here, but... Yeah, I don't have anything else. I just have the UH-1, the Mi-8, and the Gazelle here, but I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the Gazelle, so I'm not gonna start flying it now. This is the minigun version of the Gazelle, so... And I think this was in Canadian colors for me. Yeah, this is... it was Canadian. Well, I can show you how to start it up. That much I remember. Ish. It's... I mean, she's been trying to kill me for a long time, this bird, so... That's just a rotor brake. I'm gonna put it up. So, okay, let's look here. Let's see if I remember. So, battery, instruments come on, alternator, generator. You have a pump here. Yeah, that's the thing. There's the pump. Ah, whoops. There we go, it's starting. You need to wait for the turbine, by the way, to stop rotating. Then you need to start giving it power to start up the main rotor. So you need to wait a bit. And you have this engine instrument here. It'll stop at 2500 RPM. Then you slowly start giving it power. Once you reach 3000, the rotor will start to spin. Yep, I mean, look at it, I'm starting it. A very important thing is this little instrument here. Okay, it's at full power now. Now I'm gonna start turning on various systems like heating. I'm gonna test the lights. RWR on. Hydraulics. Radios. Well, it's nobody's fault. It's here. That one. It also has the... No, this is RWR. I mean, this is the minigun version, so it basically only has this RWR. Otherwise, it's normally it also has that screen for the hot missiles and so on. I'm also waiting for the INS to align, and that's our position. Yeah, this thing actually has an INS. That's one of the things I like about the Gazelle. So I can give you a quick rundown around the cockpit. Basically, these are just hydraulics, standby ADI, annunciator lights, VSI, ADI. It's pretty simple. Kilometer per hour speedometer, torque indicator. Yeah, they do, but there are three different versions of the Gazelle. You have a torque indicator, a very basic HSI, radio altitude. This is an altimeter. You have here all sorts of temperature and pressure indicators, engine RPM. This is the INS system, chaff and flares. It's here. This is your VSI. I'm gonna uncage this standby ADI. Technically now it's ready for takeoff. It's as easy as that. And it has also an upper panel here with all sorts of levers that I don't use. The main thing you need to know, your throttle is here and your rotor brake is here. Here it has actually an ultraviolet light for night flying, and it's telling me that the automatic pilot is off, but I don't really need it at the moment since I'm on the ground. In the Gazelle you can also switch positions, so one is your pilot, this is your co-pilot, and your minigunner, and I can just move my head and track the target. Well, let's see. I haven't flown it in a while, but can't be that bad, right? I just need to remember where was the, let's call it the sweet spot position for hovering. Oh, right pedal, sorry about that. Okay, it wants to go forward. Let's not let it go forward. Oh yeah, there we go, we're airborne. It's not that horrible, it's just maybe I don't have the settings for it set right. I need to move the joystick the stick quite a bit to get it moving, so. Oh yeah, now it's gonna start going forward. Gonna watch the VSI a bit. And there it goes. Gonna level it off. Well, yeah, I know. I feel a bit embarrassed that I can't fly the Gazelle very well, so. Oh yeah, and this thing is very fast. I mean, this helicopter is wicked fast. What is the weird thing? Go ahead and tell me. Yeah, I don't have any trouble with the other Heelys. That's the thing. Oh, I can fly the KA-50. Well, the Mi-8, as much as I love it, I have issues with landing it, but... Well, let's try landing the Gazelle. What could go wrong, right? We'll just respawn if we crash. Let's put a bit of right pedal in it and try to land it. Yeah, I think I need to adjust my joystick for the Gazelle, but... Okay, we're going down a bit too fast. And... Okie dokie, let's just try to keep her stable here. In one spot. My pedals aren't that great either. So again, I might need some axis adjustments, but yeah, that's the Gazelle for you. I can, of course, switch to the minigunner and... Yeah, get some. But yeah, that's pretty much the Gazelle for you. It's quite nice actually. It's just I'm not very good with it. I admit. It's not my cup of tea as a helicopter at the moment. Until I probably get the joystick adjusted and. I'm not even using the autopilot. I'm just using well, the manual pilot. Just my own abilities to fly it. Okay, as you can see, it's a bit hard to control. Alright, well, that wasn't the nicest landing, but there you go. Now at least you know what you're getting into. There are the hot versions and the Mistral versions as well. Just on this map, I only have the minigun one, which is the M, I think, or ML. I don't remember the exact name of the version. Uh, it's a nice helicopter. It's just I need to make some adjustments to the inner workings of the stick. So I don't even remember what I have. You might need to do some adjustments also for it. So, well, I can actually show you what I have. So, for example, this is just for the camera, but I don't really need these anymore since I have track IR. And I don't need this either as well. But, for example, for pitch and roll, let's go here. Oh, yeah, exactly. The Huey has the door gunners too. It's pretty nice. So, as you can see, I have some pretty weird dead zones. So, I might need to adjust these to, like, well, 10. I don't know exactly what I need to do, to be honest. Maybe something like this, but the Thrustmaster Warthog is quite stiff. So now I'm just gonna try different things now that we're here. At least you get to see the product you're getting into. Yeah, let's try it like this. Okay, a bit better takeoff this time. It's a bit better feels a bit better, but let's see. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, it stopped a lot better now. I just reduced the dead zones to 10, so. Okay, much better. Okay, this was a much better takeoff. Okay, let's try to go up. Yeah, it's a very quirky helicopter, as you can see. Yeah, it was. I've actually wanted to kind of improve my skills on the Gazelle because I like it. But I don't know, she kind of just scared me off a little bit in the beginning, I guess. The autopilot system itself is also quite nice. For example, let's engage it. And now it just literally flies itself. you can use the trimmer, for example, to tell it to go more nose down, nose up, left or right, as needed. But I'm just flying it. There we go. It's pretty stable now, but... Alright, let's get crazy. So what do you want to try doing? Again, I've never done aerobatics in a helicopter. Okay, so high bank turn. Okay, let's disengage the autopilot. Again, I'm not an expert, but I'm trying. Okay, so let's flight. More speed. Alright, let's get more speed. 100 kilometers an hour. Let's just pull up the collective a bit, because we're going down. So let's try to maintain the altitude. Now let me just get a bit higher. I'm quite low. Yeah, now it flies like a plane. Literally, it feels a lot like a plane. Okay, let's level her off a bit. Okay. She requires a lot of input, but I mean, I think it feels quite nice. Now that I get some speed, it feels quite nice. Yeah, so does the KE-50. Oh, I'm actually kind of happy I got all this encouragement to fly the Gazelle. Let's gain some altitude and try some aerobatics, eh? Okay, our torque is a bit high, so... Yeah, sure. Let's go to Angels too. I'm not that high yet, so... Just gonna click on the autopilot while it climbs. Yeah, I was at 500. On the radar altimeter, yeah. Getting close to 1,000 feet, but... barometric. Yeah, let's go up. It's always fun to play with a minigun. Yeah, it's useless. I'd rather use the actual visual aiming, so... Let's also actually adjust more controls that I haven't done so yet. So, trimmer is that, trimmer reset. Okay, I just need to check what my... Yeah, I don't know. We should ask Eurocopter. Well, or Polychop simulations as well, yeah. Well, I really hope they fix it. Oh, yeah. I guess so. An eye for detail, I see, sir. That's very nice. Oh yeah, and if you want to buy it, you can switch spots if you like. Also like this. So. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I don't know, I've never tried it in multiplayer. I don't even know if it has support for multi-crew. I know some modules have it, like the L-39 and the Tomcat. I think the Gazelle also has it. Yeah, Gazelle is the only helicopter with multi-crew. I think the Gazelle is the only one. Excuse me a moment, I really need to close the window in front of my desk because it's getting cold in here. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had to close the window. Okay, we should be now at 4,000 feet barometric, so let's have some fun, shall we? I'll deactivate the autopilot. Well, yeah, but they don't. That's the thing. They do not have multi-crew. I would have loved to see them with multi-crew. And torque's a bit high. Look at that. And let's try a roll, shall we? Let's see what happens. I've never done a roll in a helicopter before, so... That was intense. But yeah, that was a roll in a helicopter. So apparently the Gazelle can actually roll. I had no idea, to be honest. I just thought it's gonna crash like a pile of bricks. Yeah, that's true, you lose altitude, but okay. Let's get some more speed. I would not try the Mi-8, to be honest. I would not do it. Let's see what other crazy things we can do. Let's roll and pull. Yeah, that's true. Let's dive. Let's go about 300 kilometers an hour. I'll down a bit on the collective. And 3, 2, 1, loop. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, something's wrong. Okay, well, now it's done. Could be. Could be. Agreed. But yeah, this is the first time I actually do stuff like this with a helicopter. It's quite interesting. So, anything else we should try with this? I mean, I'm flying it. Hands off, no autopilot. So, have I convinced you to buy it yet? Hey, let's try the navigation system. I've never tried it really, so. Well, yeah, I showed you at least what I can do with it, so... Yeah, again, some people hate it, some people like it. Yeah, I think it's actually... Well, about the Gazelle, I think you should just try it yourself. And maybe then we can actually have a video together and talk about it. We can even try flying one in multiplayer if you want. And we can stream it live and we can try different things. How about that? Let's try to actually enter a proper... Where the even hell are we? Ah, there we are. So let's try to actually enter a proper navigation point there. So let's try to enter the Tbilisi airports for so 41 39 9. And east it was 4457 3. Yeah, well, at least we got the navigation system going, so let's do a turn. Let's deactivate the autopilot. What the hell? That's pretty weird. Okay, let's get some altitude. Oh, that sounds really weird what you're telling me there. Yeah, it should. Well, I think we're high enough. I can recover it if needed. Yeah, it wants to drop. Okay. Well, we need to do an auto rotation here. Give me a second. I'll try to see if I can. We need to maintain the speed. Yep, engine died. I've never done auto rotation before, but... And now it's starting again. What the actual... But yeah. There we go. It's... The Gazelle's down. That's how we got it down. Yeah, if it has no lift, it should drop. It started dropping. But we could, of course, keep this as a reference. Yeah, exactly. 10 out of 10. That was pretty good. But it was a good way to test the Gazelle. I mean, of course, you can try it yourself. It should be pretty interesting. Also, do remember, I do post this kind of content quite often. So if you want to tune in for more Whirlybird of Doom flying, of course, we can do that. And I might just feature the Gazelle quite often. No, probably they fixed it. Like here and there, they probably released some patches. Yeah, you might be right. Well, I'm not an expert either. I just simply fly it like a normal helicopter, I suppose. I mean, it's still a helicopter. It flies with the same principles, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Gazelle does have stability assist. That's true. Yep. Also, the Mi-8 has stability assist. Believe it or not. I mean, I know you're not a big fan of it, but it has stability assist. As does the Ka-50. The Huey is the only one with no SAS, literally. Yeah, the Mi-8 does, specifically at low speeds. I mean, it enters VRS like crazy compared to the Gazelle. I've never actually VRS to the Gazelle. And I've tried to fly it a few times. Well, more than a few times. I don't know if that's true with the real life helicopter though. I haven't really read much about the actual Gazelle. I mean, the two helicopters that are probably impossible, almost impossible to VRS, are the Gazelle and the Ka-50. Coaxial just, you know, it's a coaxial. I mean, you can still enter VRS with it, but it should be fairly easy to come out with a KA50. And yeah, the Huey, well, I sometimes VRS'd it, but I usually can land it fairly well and fly it fairly well. So people say it's hard to fly, but you get used to the Huey. It's quirky, but you get used to it. I do fly helicopter sometimes in. Let's choose another one. In X-plane as well. Oh, this spawns underneath an MI8. Okay, I need to fix the mission. Whoopsie daisy. I had forgotten about that. Yeah, it's a good choice. I think the KA50 is a good choice. Yeah, actually, the helicopter itself. Let's see if I have another mission here where I can actually show you. Since we're having a nice long conversation here, I'm gonna try to see if I have another mission. And let's see. Well, this was from the mission editor, but I do have another mission where there's a KA50. Okay, give me a second. I do have. Well, there's a KA50 training which I have here. It's pretty interesting to do. One thing about the KA50 you guys should know, if you pull too many Gs, these weapon stores will drop off. That's something that should be mentioned. I've tried it. So I took off, and it went nose up really fast, and I think I pulled too many Gs, and the stores just fell off. Yeah, exactly. It's very bad. But just as a heads up, uh, well, no, probably not. Oh, well, I have a lot of stuff here, so, well, I guess let's just pick this K50. With the Gazelle, yes, probably yes. Okay, is this armed? It's probably not even armed. No, it's not armed. It's just pure K50. I'll just hide Boris here. Boris the pilot here. And I'm gonna close the exit. So, I mean, you probably have looked at the KA50 before. It's not very difficult to start up. It's very well Russian. It's a Russian helicopter, but again, a lot of switches for all the systems. So the batteries, then we need the fuel pumps. Ejection system, just to be sure, and the intercom. And yes, this has an APU. The engine RPM instrument is here, by the way. And here's the APU indicator.
Watch ekran. Watch ekran.
Yeah, they are in English. I'm sorry about that. I didn't see your message. I was preparing to start it up. Well, it's not that horrible once you learn the systems. Now, why is it complaining about oil pressure? Ah, okay, there we go. That was it. Sorry about that, was moving a bit too fast. So I'm gonna zoom in a bit so you can see. So here basically you have the collective, obviously, engine cutoff valves, armament control panel for the laser, Schwal. This is the laser system. Here you can set all sorts of modes, so auto turn on the target, air to air, moving ground target. You can reset the parameters here. Here you have the actual navigation radio, engine panel, landing gear. So it's a lot like a jet, actually. It feels a lot like a jet. Radar altimeter, let's set it to 40 meters. Speed, these are your Gs, VSI, ADI. This is your actual barometric altimeter. HSI is here. Here you have more weapon options. Here you have the Shval. The HUD is a lot like that of the Su-27. This is the Abris, your GPS system, your INU, and all sorts of control options for the INU and the Abris. Your automatic pilot, Shval scan speed, you can set it from here. Here are more radio control panels. And here you have the electrics, fuel pumps, fuel shut-off valves, communication systems, ejection system, master weapon power, IFF navigation, gyros, standby, de-icing system if you need it, cabin pressure. I'll zoom out a bit. Electronic engine governors, lighting systems. Here you have more controls for the inertial navigation system, sling loading, and hydraulics. Yeah, pretty smart, huh? Okay, let's see if I remember how to take this one off. I usually fly this quite often, but okay, so let's do this to plan. Map, and let's scale in a bit. There's a small bug with the sea. It usually appears as blue, but now it's green. I do not know why, so do not ask me about that. Oh yeah, up here you have the navigation lights, the wiper, window washer, pitot heat for ram air, rotor anti-ice system, and countermeasure system. You can program it from here, and here you have the data link. Well, for the gun, actually, you have an HMS system. See? Helmet mounted sight. And now if I look at the target with the Shval, for example, see? It moves to the target. Yeah, it's to the right side of the helicopter, so that's the only way. You need to actually turn like that. I'll just bore sight the cheval, and of course I can zoom in, zoom out. I can increase the target gate size here, and so on. Yeah, I mean, of course, compared to the Cobra or the Apache, which have the gun mounted centrally and in the nose, this one has it to the side. But, well, I wouldn't know that, to be honest. And if you look at the landing gear panel there to my left, you can see it actually. It shows that the landing gear is up. One important thing about the trimmer system on the KA50, by the way, so when you operate it, you are required to press the trimmer button, move the stick to a new position, then let go. And then it will just readjust itself to your new settings. I'll just deactivate the helmet mounted system. Oh, we don't really need it. Yeah, it is pretty easy to fly. Well, it's a coaxial, that's why. But one important thing, you see those I don't even have the autopilot active actually. Now I do. I was actually flying it without stabilization assistance. Now I can just activate the autopilot, take my hands off the controls. I'll just trim it and adjust a new attitude, and I'm hands off. So yeah, the thing just flies. And I've also set the radar, the controls to radar altimeter, so it just will maintain the altitude. If I want to fly higher, it's easy. I just disable altitude hold, pull up, increase altitude, stabilize, activate altitude hold, and it just flies itself. It's that easy. Actually, it's more like the A10C, I believe. Well, that's pretty much how you use this. Or I've used many times, for example, trees. Like, I go down really low, I hide behind trees. I'm not really good at it yet, but I pop up, pop a missile, go back down. Well, I've actually killed some man pads with it, if you really want to know, from a hidden position. So I flew low, hid behind the trees, popped up really, really low at about a few kilometers away, popped the Vicar missile, and bye SAM site. That was really that was it. Also, makes it a lot easier for me to talk to you guys, because all I need to do is just keep an eye on it so it doesn't crash. But the autopilot is really good at maintaining the radar altimeter, so radar altitude. So I'm pretty cool with that. There's actually a practice area I can show you the auto hover, and I'll just disable the autopilot. I have the cannon. The cannon is good enough. The cannon's loaded. Yes, it can fly waypoints. Okay, that wasn't nice. I forgot actually the targets are hostile. So let's head back to the airfield. Yep, targets are hostile. I had actually forgotten that in this mission I actually had hostile targets. I think there were some. Let's see what killed us. Well, hey, I had forgotten. At least you got to see the ejection system, right? Okay, let's see what was it that killed us. Something did. Oh, there's the Russian carrier, by the way. So what did we have here? So we had some AAVs, we had some Bradleys and M113s here. So yeah, that's the problem. I had forgotten the targets are actually armed and itching for a fight. Of course, I have some other birds here as well, but yeah, well, this is another K50 that we have here. I can show you on the ground how the Abris works, or how to fly waypoints if you're curious, but there are plenty of tutorials also on the internet on how to operate the Abris and the navigation system. At least I can show you what I remember. I guess that's good enough, I suppose. So we're talking about the navigation system. So the point is, one thing you should know is that the two systems are not tied to each other in any way. So don't expect them to actually exchange data. But I'm going to show you a few tricks that I've learned. So let's go to the... First we need to do some settings for the navigation system. So we're going to use this menu here, and we're going to change the units. So this, the thing is, we need to kind of make them to work together. So the way we do that is we set the coordinate mode. So what we need to have is decimal degrees. So latitude north-south, and then longitude east-west. And that's the thing. Of course, here we can set the speed in kilometers per hour, range in kilometers, altitude in meters, weight in kilograms. So you can do a lot of setup here in the system. So we can go to flight plan, and let's create a waypoint. And let's go to edit, and we can use this draw option. You right click this to create, to actually draw. Okay, that was the brightness. Edit, insert, and then we can try to draw this. So see, I have a cursor on the map, so let's put a waypoint. Let's zoom out a bit. Let's put a waypoint somewhere here. So let's put a waypoint there. Add, we can also name it, so you can just change the characters here like this. Let's see, let's call it B1 or something like that. Anyway, enter. So now we have this point set here that we would need to add to the INU, which is the inertial navigation system. So we go to waypoint 1. Is it not on? I could have sworn I turned on the INU. Okay, now it works. So we go to waypoint 1. So we will need to copy these values here. So we're gonna go north. Okay, let's reset. 1. I keep forgetting how to do this, but anyway, in order to make this navigate, you need to enter the points into the INU. The Grim Reapers, by the way, have an excellent tutorial about this. Ah, right, it needs to be in edit mode. Silly me, eh? So now we actually have a navigation waypoint in, so we can always check it. So now the coordinates are correct. So I'm gonna take off, and I'm gonna show you how you can fly a waypoint. And let's also remove the set this to on. Slightly stick forward. Not much. And this is basically with the navigation system on. Now the helicopter will just start taking on speed. That's not the issue here. And I'm gonna activate the autopilot. If I remember how that was done. Let's see. I don't remember off the top of my head, obviously. Yeah, it's also quite late here. But anyway, the whole trick is activating the autopilot. Excuse me a minute. Excuse me 1 minute, I'll be right back. Let's pause this while we're at it. apologies for the um, issues. My flatmate actually somehow locked himself in the balcony, but that happened, I suppose. I don't really remember how to actually operate the autopilot for waypoints, but shame on me. I usually fly this quite often, but I really forgot. Sometimes I fly it like for weeks for about a week, and I just keep flying it, but this time I don't really remember. And again, that was my mistake. I was in edit mode. Anyway, I would definitely recommend watching the Grim Reapers tutorials. They're actually very good about on this topic, because I'm just really having a brain fart. I don't really remember where to enable this. But for example, yeah, you can ask the helicopter to fly you back to the airfield. It can do that as well. Not like the airfield's far. You'll see it here on the HSI. It's almost a kilometer away. Yeah, that's pretty much the KA-50 for you. Go shoot up some tanks, you drink your tea, and then you literally the autopilot can fly you back home. So it's a very easy helicopter to fly compared to other helicopters. I mean, if you like it, it's a good choice. It takes a while to get used to the navigation system, but I think it's pretty good. And now I realized what the problem was. Okay, so let's add waypoint 2, which is this, which is called B2 or B1, sorry. But yeah, anyway, definitely watch the Grim Reapers tutorials. I'm just really not remembering right now. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and I will probably stop here. It's been 3 hours and 20 minutes since I've been doing this. If you want to see more content like this, of course, there are so many good planes and helicopters in this just I actually like. I can't really, I can't get myself to specialize on one. That's the problem. I want to fly all of them, so that's why I am a bit hazy about remembering certain things about procedures, for example, in the KA-50, on how to operate the autopilot and use it for navigation. But it's definitely possible. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm actually gonna go hit the sack. It's past midnight here, so again, I'm quite tired. Again, if you want to buy the KA-50, guys, definitely a good choice. It's a good attack helicopter, pretty good at combat as well, and I mean, even if you don't play multiplayer, it's quite fun to just go and shoot up some tanks. Or whatever else you want to shoot. Remember, if you want to see more of this stuff, feel free to send me suggestions. I accept private messages. There's also my YouTube channel, and I also have a Facebook page there. Actually, should be linked on my Twitch profile. Feel free to subscribe and follow me on those as well. I will be more than happy to accommodate any requests that you want, like we had earlier for the Gazelle, and now seeing the KA-50. This was supposed to be a 1 hour stream, but hey, look at us, we're at 3 hours, 21 minutes. And still, I would have still chatted, but I'm actually getting quite tired. Super Goats, I hope you actually enjoy your KA-50. Remember, you can contact me if you want. We can even do some multiplayer flights. So grab multiple KA-50s and go wreak some havoc on some poor armored vehicles or whatever ground targets you prefer engaging, or even other helicopters. I'm also open to fly with you guys with other planes as well. I have a Discord channel which will be provided if you decide to join me for flights. And yeah, tune in. Remember to follow if you like my content. And well, I'll hope to see you all soon. I hope you all have a very, very good night and a happy Easter. See you, and again, follow, subscribe, and well, come by and chat again. I'm always happy to have people to chat with on the stream. Bye bye.